and welcome to a little extra episode of One Stitch After Another. My name's Ashley and this is my little podcast where I talk about all things yarny fibery. And I've got a cup of coffee, so you might want to go and get yourself a hot drink. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to be quite chatty, but towards the end I'm going to do something a little bit different on this channel. So if you're new here, welcome. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what craft you like engaging in. And yeah, I hope that you'll find some value from today's video. If you do, I'd absolutely love it if you hit that thumbs up button because it does help my little channel. And if you subscribed, that would be even better. Anyway, you don't know why you should subscribe yet, do you? So I have not been very well. I've got a little bit of a chesty cough and I've got a poorly leg. On top of that, I'm due to go into hospital on Wednesday for some surgery. So I'm feeling a little bit sorry for myself and a little bit under the weather. And one of my subscribers, I'm not quite sure who it was, suggested that I watch a lovely podcaster called Helen, Mousie Makes, here on YouTube. And so I did, and I subscribed at the weekend. And the first video of hers that I watched was where she's launching a mousie make-along. Now, I'm sure that lots of you who are regular YouTube viewers or even podcasters yourself do know about the lovely Helen. She lives up in Scotland, I think, definitely in the north of the UK, and she enjoys playing the piano. She goes on trips in her camper van and her videos are really lovely and soothing. I really enjoyed watching what I've watched of hers so far. And the reason that she calls herself Mousie Makes is that when she first started, she made lots and lots of mice. Anyway, she has a contact on YouTube and they decided they were going to knit Harold Fatmas. Let me just get my iPad here. I'm going to put my glasses on. And I have had Harold Fatmas in my Ravelry favourites for, I don't know, the longest time. And he's actually in my library, but if you don't know about Harold Fatmas, here he is. He is designed by somebody called Claire Hutchins, and he is the most adorable fat little mouse. And I just love him. I just love the cuteness. So she and this contact of hers said that they would knit it, and I think they've swapped, or at least they've each done one. And Helen thought it would be a really, really lovely idea if other people joined in this mouse make-along. So there is a hashtag in the title. There'll be links to Helen's video, should you not know who she is, in the description box. But I thought, yes, I want to join in. And I do want to knit Harold Fatmas, and he is knit in light fingering or 3-ply. On 3mm and 3.25mm needles. Now I'm going to have a look and see what I've got in my stash out of scraps to knit this gorgeous little creature. You can see there's a little bit in the pattern of some semi-solids going on there. So I'm going to see what I can find, but I asked my mum at the weekend if she would like one. She's in a nursing home and I've knit her a couple of things. She's got one of my Nor and the Gnomes holding an ice cream, and she's got a little bunny nugget that I made for her. It's got a little bell in it, and she said, oh yes, I would. So I'm definitely going to knit Harold, but am I going to knit Harold for this make-along? I do not know. I spent a very happy couple of hours down a rabbit hole on Ravelry at the weekend. And these are just some of the patterns that I've put into my favourites to consider. So I think this first one might be, oh no, I thought it was Alan Dart, but it's not. It's Viola Sue Knits Ravelry store, and it's just called Mouse. And there's a little family of mice there. Sorry about that. I don't know how to insert photographs like a lot of professional podcasters do. Let's try that again. There you go. Can you see? Little family of mice, and the mummy is holding a baby. Is that going to be any better? I should have done this top down, but you get the idea. They're lovely. So that was the latest thing that I've added. There's a cute mouse, which is by Hiroko Ibuki. And I think that might be a free pattern. Yes, this one is a free pattern. And you can get it on Instagram as well as Ravelry. I really like the shape of that and its little nose peeking up. So it's good that that's free. This is absolutely delightful. This is Claire Garland. Oh, I just love all of Claire Garland's patterns. She is a knitting whisperer. She's just amazing, isn't she? All of her little creatures that she designs just look so realistic. And this is Miss Moppet from Beatrix Potter. I'm sorry you're getting some shadow from the window. So I really like her. And most of Claire's patterns are knit using Garn Studio drops, alpaca and silk, which is very reasonably priced. This is another one that I really like, although to me it doesn't look terribly mouse-like from the front. It looks more, I don't know, bear-like really. But this is Mouse in a Flowered Dress by Julie Williams from Little Cotton Rabbits. That's better, isn't it? And I like the dress and the outfit on that. And obviously you can use whatever you've got in your stash for the outfit. And then this one I love. This one might be the one that I do for the make-along, the mousie make-along. This is Mouse Theo by Elena Alexieva. And I just love this. Little boy mouse looks very cosy in his winter outfit. I will leave all of these linked in the description box so that you can get them. That's a paid for pattern, $7. And there's a little mouse friend as well that goes with it. Oh, that is so cute. Another little mouse friend, yes. But this is the one that really caught my eye. Oh gosh, those are nice as well. Yes, this is Alan Dart. I loved Alan Dart's little patterns. He's got a whole load of different mice. So these are like the circus mice juggling balls. Can you see the lion there? You've got a lion tamer mouse. Oh, love it. But this is the one that really caught my eye and got me thinking. This is Dorothy the Mouse by Louise Crowther. And I just loved her shoes. I don't know, the photograph really sucked me in, the muted colours, the aesthetic of it. As I say, I will leave this all linked down below. And I thought, I want to buy that pattern. And it said, well, you can't actually buy this pattern. And it told me where it was published and it's in a book. And I thought, hold on a minute. I think I've got that book somewhere. And I was thinking, if I haven't and if I can't find it, I'm going to have to buy it. And I think it's about £16 on Amazon. But yes, I do have this book, Knitting Animal Friends. And I bought this from the works last year. Or it might have been in January this year. I can't quite remember. Published price is $15.99, so £16. I bought it from the works for 5 of your British pounds. Oh my God, and I just love everything in this. I just love everything. And all of the animals, they've got the basic same body shape. So I think once you've cracked knitting the body, you're pretty much okay. And some of them have got, like this creature here, got like a little chest piece. And some of them have got a contrast body, like you can see on Mr. Fox there. But I'm so pleased that I've got this book. And and I love the duck. I'm definitely going to knit the duck. And I just thought, how cute. And everything is so beautifully designed and finished off. And I'm so pleased that I found that. Looking at the patterns, they all use sheepgeese yarn. And you can get it from Wool Warehouse. And it calls for stone washed. Now, in the pattern, it doesn't say what weight. I would presume because it's small needles, it would be the smallest. But I'm just going to click on stone washed all colours. And see if it gives me anything about... No, it says 3mm needles. Yes, okay. But for a 50 gram ball, it is only £3.49, which I think makes it a really good budget buy for knitting a toy. And it is 22% acrylic, 78% cotton, and there's a whole range of colours. Does it say how many colours? There's a lot. But yes, I'm going to be so looking forward to doing that. And then the clothing is all knit in something called Katona. And what is lovely about Katona, you can get it in 10 gram balls, 50 gram balls, and 100 gram balls. Hold on a minute. Just hold on. Sorry about that. The little gimbal thing that I use as a tripod when I'm just doing to camera stuff, the battery died, so the phone went bloop. Sorry about that. Anyway, where were we? We're talking about the Sheepy's Katona. You need a variety of colours for the dresses and, well, outfits and shoes and things. And you can get it in 10 gram balls for 79p, which I think is amazing. I think that's really good if you want to try a little bit of colour work, Strandy Colour Work or Fair Isle. You can just experiment, get a whole load of little colours, can't you? And then the 50 gram is £2.49 and the 100 gram is £4.65. And let's just have a little look at the colour palette. There are lots and lots of different colours, hundreds of them. And I think, let's have a look at the yarn composition. The yarn composition is 100% cotton. That would be so lovely for baby garments as well, wouldn't it? So I'm very excited about that. But I need to have another little look and think in the time that I've got, because I think the make-along is open until the 30th of June. Given that I'm going to be recovering from surgery potentially, I want something quite simple to knit. So I might do Harold Fatmas. There's also these Nordic Christmas mice by Say Little Hen, which are really cute, and they can stand up and go on their bellies. So those are really sweet as well. So I might do that. Then the other thing that I thought was just too adorable, are twin mice sleeping in a little matchbox. And because I'm a paper crafter, I could make the box myself. And they've got a little blanket, there's a little boy mouse and a little girl mouse. So that is so sweet. So I will leave the links to all of those in the description box. And then, oh gosh, has anybody got this in their knitting library? I have had this for many years. This is this older teak, whimsical little knits. I jumped on the Ishbel bandwagon many years ago. I've knit several of them, hence a photocopied pattern to take when I was travelling. But this book is very well loved. But there's also a little mouse in here that I knit for my mum years ago. I think I knit it out of Rowan felted tweed. Yes, but then also on my shelves that you can't see, they're above my PC, I have got this tiny little creature knit out of a scrap or something. I don't even know where the pattern was from, but I have got a little mouse already for the mousie make along. But that's cheating, isn't it? So I'm going to cast something on. I have got knitting to do for other people, but I think when I get off here, I'm going to have a look through my stash. I've got some really nice grey left over from a little bear that I knit for somebody that might just do the job. And I've got loads of scraps of 4-ply that I can use, sock yarn that I can use for the Fair Isle bit. So it might be that Harold Fatmas is the first one that I cast on, but you don't have to be a knitter to enter this make along. You don't have to be a crocheter. You can do anything. You can sew, you can knit, you can crochet, you can paint. Now, what some of you might not know about me is that I am an avid paper crafter. In 2021, I was one of the winners of Card Maker of the Year. So I'm going to take you now top down, and we're going to make a very simple little mouse card together. So I have been card making a long time and I have got a lot of supplies. If you are just starting out, I would say get a range of inks. I like to use these Distress Oxide inks by Tim Holtz from Ranger. I've just got a very limited colour palette here today, 2 blues and 2 greens. These are really good because you can use them as watercolour paints, and they're a hybrid ink, so they're a mixture between a pigment ink and a dye-based ink. Sounds very complicated, but when they dry they leave kind of quite a chalky finish, but they're very versatile, and that's what we're going to use today. I have got here a piece of A5 watercolour cardstock because I'm going to just do a very simple 1 layer card. And I've gone ahead and I've scored it at both 10.5 and 11.5 centimetres. This is 21 centimetres here. And you can see that I've got a little extra score line here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold that back on itself here. And use this to burnish that score line. And then fold this back over, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put tape along here. If you haven't got tape, you could use glue, but make sure you use a strong glue. You could omit this step altogether and just score at the 10.5. And if you haven't got a scoreboard or a tool, use a ruler and a biro with a lid on it. Now what this makes is something called a bookbinding card, which is quite cute. So I'm just going to stick that down, and we get this kind of faux spine thing going on, like so. I'm just going to burnish that down to make sure that that tape is really tacky. So you can see we've got like a little faux spine. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. Now this is one of my most favourite techniques to do, and I do this a lot. I've got an acrylic block. If you haven't got an acrylic block, you could cut yourself some acetate from some packaging, and I'm going to swipe. This is a lovely pale blue colour called Tumbled Glass. I'm going to do not quite halfway, and I'm going to use the lighter of my greens, which is a lovely colour called Mowed Lawn. I'm just going to leave a little gap in between the two colours. I'm going to spray with some water, and then I'm going to kind of centre this left to right, but put it towards the top, like so. And I'm just going to let that colour sit on the watercolour paper, and I'm going to press down so that the ink kind of runs a little bit. Can you see that? And then take it off. It does form a little bit of a suction. And I'm just going to get some kitchen paper, and then I'm just going to leave that to dry a little bit naturally. It is best to leave it to dry naturally. I'll come back in a minute when it's dry. So my ink is very nearly dried now, and I could have used something called a heat tool to dry the ink, but it would warp the card a little bit with the heat. You can see I've got a little damp patch there, so I'm just going to come in with a bit of kitchen paper and soak that up. But you can see how where the colours have met, we've got some nice feathering going on, and that chalkiness that I talked about. If you don't have any inks like this, you could just as easily use watercolour and do a little watercolour wash. Now, I've got a collection of stamps from one of my favourite designers called Lavinia. They do fairies, little creatures, lots of bits of foliage, and obviously I've got these mice here, this little trio of mice, and I'm going to go for this one. I like the way he's sitting up, and I'm going to stamp him just in some black ink. You can get this online so easily. Hobbycraft, I think, sell it as well, but if you're starting out in card making or paper crafting, a black ink is a really good investment, and this will last you years. So what I'm doing, he's going to be my focal image in this little composition, and I'm going to put him about there, I mean, then we're going to create a little world for him to live in, a little tiny world full of little bits of foliage and plants. This is just very, very simple. One of the reasons I'm holding on to this and pressing it down is that I want the ink to make contact with the paper. Because it's a watercolour cardstock, it's slightly bumpy. And if I've got any white bits, I can go in with a black pen. And in fact, that's absolutely perfect. So one of my other favourites from Lavinia, if I can find it, is this grass. Now, it's a lot bigger than the area that I've got. So I'm going to come in with some low tack tape and mask off my design so that I can stamp over. I'm just going to overlap my ink a little bit, and this will lift off very easily without tearing the card. So I want some nice little grasses. And what is really lovely about these oxide inks is that you can layer up colour on colour, and you can put light over dark and tone on tone, which I'll show you in a minute. I hope you're enjoying this. If you do enjoy this kind of content, go and check out my other channel, Paper and Twine. I'm just going to put that there because it's not long enough. And you can reuse this tape. Yes, I have another channel, Paper and Twine. I'll leave it in the description box. And if you like all things paper crafting, I do card making, boxes, all kinds of things like that. Go and check that out. Right, so I'm going to come in now. I need a bigger acrylic block. If you haven't got acrylic blocks, these will stick onto acetate. I've had this a very long time, and it is one of my favourite stamps. It's one of my go-to stamps. I use it all of the time. We used the colour meadow grass in the background, and I'm going to come in and use it now just as a little accent, like so, there. And then I'm going to come in with a darker colour, and it doesn't matter that I am going over my mauve grass. This one's called Rustic Wilderness. Tim Holtz has very creative names for things. I'm going to come in with this here like this, so it's like he's looking up at this piece of grass which looks like a tree to him, but it is just a piece of grass. And that's all I'm going to do with that. I'm going to take my tape away now because I really do not want to contaminate my clean background. I've got a little tiny bit there, and you can see how we've got that gorgeous little bit of grass going on the top. Now, the next bit that I want to do is, yes, if you want to get into card making and stamping, so you can start to build up your collection really cheaply. This was free with a magazine that you buy in supermarkets, and part of my prize for winning Card Maker of the Year in 2021 is to be on the design team for some of those magazines that you see. I have done an indigo blue box set, but this is a lovely stamp with lots of different little sentiments, a gorgeous little bird. But I'm going to just come in, I'm going to dip this into my tumbled glass. Am I going to put it on a block? Yes, I will put it on a block. And I'm not going to ink all of it up. I'm just going to just ink a little bit of it up. And just put a little bit there like that, just to add a little bit of interest in our sky. That's all I'm going to do with that. But yes, if you want to start paper crafting, buying the magazines is a good way to start to build up your stash of stamps. And often they have papers, and if you want to subscribe, they often have really good gifts and deals as well. These are really cute, these little mushrooms and the little lanterns, little fairy lanterns. So I'm going to use a couple of these. So I think I'm going to do a little cluster of these ones. Let's put you on this little block actually, and I'm going to come in with my black again. So are you going to join in with Helen's make along, mousie make along? she was very worried that people weren't going to join in, but I think she's going to be inundated. She's such a lovely lady, isn't she? We'll come in with a smaller one as well. Maybe we'll do that in the rustic wilderness. And the good thing about these, you can add interest by doing first and second generation. Can you see we've got a little tiny little mushroom there? I like that so much. I'm going to do that again. And it's less kind of in your face than the black. Just one more little thing I'm going to add. I'm going to do this little lantern here. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it as it is. But there is just one thing. Is that just one thing I need to do? I need to ground this mouse. So I'm going to just tear this little bit of paper. And I'm going to use, if you haven't got a tool like this, you could use your finger. Just going to do a little bit of, just a little bit of, and there you can see, just very gently giving him a little bit of a grounding. Final little thing, I'm going to put a little sentiment on, if I can find my sentiments. So one of my gurus that I love in my paper crafting is this guy, Tim Holtz, and I love everything that he does. He puts all of these little clippings together. So I'm going to see if I can find one that's going to go with this little mouse in his grass. One must have patience, my dear. She spoke from heart. This is our journey, far from home, wishing to dreamland. It'd be really nice if there's one that said mouse, wouldn't it? I just want a little one. I'm going to put there to cover up that tiny little bit of ink that I've got. Looking out of the window, kind of sounds beautiful. Maybe just beautiful would be nice. Or the winding garden path. I'm going to put beautiful, just that little tiny beautiful, just there. Then this can be a little greetings card for any occasion. Comment down below what you think. Let's go back up now so you can see my ugly mug. So here is the little card that I've made, and I hope that you like it. As I say, if you want to know more about card making or you're into that kind of thing, you might want to go and check out Paper and Twine, my other channel, where I talk about all things paper crafting, as well as loads of other drivel as well. But I quite like that. It's quite cute, isn't it? And then there was just one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, really. But just before I do, please do remember to let me know if you're going to join in with this mousie make along, and if so, what you're going to make. I'm going to have fun in a little while sorting through my scraps to see if I can find something to do for Harold Fatness. I think he's going to be the first one that I cast on, and then I'm going to have a look to see about what I need to knit Dorothy the mouse. But I was in my local WH Smith's the other day, and I don't very often buy knitting magazines. I mean, back in the day, my Smiths, I live in quite a small market town. Back in the day, they used to have all of the Vogue and the Interweave, but they don't anymore. But I used to buy this religiously, the Knitter, and I picked it up and flicked through it, and I thought, oh, I'll buy it. Not so much for the knitting patterns. There's not much that I like on the pattern front. I think they're a bit too contemporary for me. But I didn't know that there was a yarn festival in Birmingham, and it's called Yarningham, and I think it's on the 13th and 14th of July, and I'm going to go to it, I think. Yeah, it's in an area of Birmingham that I know quite well, Moseley. Moseley, bits of it are a bit iffy, but lots of it is really leafy green, big houses. And the Cadbury family of Cadbury chocolate fame, their factory is in a neighbouring suburb of Birmingham called Bourneville, and they actually had a big house in Moseley, and that's become something. I think the NHS own it. There's something in this article about the proceeds of a lot of the proceeds of this event will go to mental health services, which I think is absolutely brilliant, because of course a lot of us craft for our own well-being, don't we? So are you going to go to Yarningham? And if so, perhaps you could, yeah, I'm definitely going to go, probably go on the Saturday. I don't know whether there's going to be a knitter's corner or a meet and greet or whatever, but yeah, I shall be there, so look out for me. I'll let you know when I've bought my ticket and definitely what day I'm going, and yeah, perhaps I'll see you there. But that's Yarningham. So that's it. I've been on absolutely ages, haven't I? Here's my little mouse that I haven't made today, but is cute. And here is the mouse card, which I did make today and is also cute. Please do come back very soon. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, share and subscribe. Bye everybody.